Hello everyone. Today I'm going to show you one of my games and it demonstrates 2 points. One is the opening line of Englund Gambit, and the second theme that I really want to talk about is a tactical motif called remove the defender. Let's dive in. I'm playing black. White starts with the move d4 and we respond with the e5. We're simply giving up a pawn in exchange for some nice play on the d and e files, as well as to launch a quick attack on the king side if white allows it. Opponent took the pawn and they accepted the gambit, so we advance another pawn to d6. We are offering this exchange. White went for it. They took e takes d6 and we develop our bishop. So we are a little bit ahead of development. We have one piece out and we have this nice bishop eyeing the king side pawn. If white ever castles this side, we're gonna have a eye on the h2 pawn. So white develops. It makes a natural development move, knight f3. Black develops knight c6. Black develops on the queen side. Our aim is to develop our bishop, develop our queen, and castle long and attack white's king side. So white tries to fianchetto. It's a bishop on g2. So we develop our bishop. We could play bishop f5. I think bishop g4 is also a reasonable move. White follows up its plan, so it develops its bishop on g2 and prepares to castle. And black plays queen e7. Black is preparing to castle long. So if the sides are castled on the opposite sides, usually leads to a lot of fireworks and fun games. White castles, black castles. Our motif is to play on this open d file. Notice that we are x-raying the white's queen on d1. So white removes it from this dangerous open file. Makes sense. So black plays knight f6, another natural development move. So at this point black has finished development. It has connected its rooks, castled. All nice for black, and look at white's pieces. Bishop at home, this knight at home, this rook at home. So black is significantly ahead of development, and for that gambit pawn, it's a nice compensation. And look at how white's queen is already started running away from black's pieces. All crumbled, so many pieces on the first rank. Only the knight has made it to the third rank. So it looks really pleasant for black. So white decides to develop one of its pieces. Okay, we just repel with h6. Now we're asking white, what are you going to do? Are you going to go back, or if white moves it here, we can just trap it with the pawn to g5 move. So Can't really go back, not a good square, because bishop will take it and disrupt the white's pawn structure. This is also somewhat questionable because it blocks the e-pawn and this, and what's the point of coming all the way here to go back again to d2. So white takes it, bishop f6, so we're fine with this trade. Queen f6, so we are now attacking the b2 pawn and extracting the rook on a1, but that's not really important for us. We are more concerned about the kingside attack. So the game continues. White develops its knight b2 d2. Okay, we are ready to launch the attack. So we're going to use this bishop and play on this diagonal and attack the h2 pawn, and our rook is playing nicely on the h file. We're now going to advance our pawn all the way till whatever square white allows it, and we're going to disrupt their pawn structure. Maybe pawn is going to come here, and this rook is also ready to jump to the g file, and overall it looks like a good attack is coming. So pawn to h5, white plays this move c3. Probably they were worried that we are going to take the pawn on b2 and we missed it, but that's not what we are looking for. We don't want to play on the queen side. Nothing interesting here except for the rook. We go for the mating attack here on the king side. So pawn to h4. Now we're asking question to white. What are you going to do? Are you going to take and open up your diagonals and files? Or if you're going to remain there, I think we are going to take ourselves and open up the h file. So white responds with pawn to e3. I do not know what they have in mind. Probably want to play their queen to e2 and somehow get some play here, attack the b2 pawn, probably open up their knight somewhere and unleash their bishop attack. That's probably what white wants to do. So we just follow up with our plan. We just disrupt white's pawn structure. So h takes g3. So our file, this is h file, is now a semi-open file and inviting attack. We're going to place our queen here on this file and potentially move our rook up, and this rook also joins h file and a deadly attack very soon. So white responds with h takes g3, so makes our job easier. We don't have to worry about coming up with a plan to open the h file. They made the job easier, they opened it for us. So we're going to place the queen nicely on h6. Notice that if queen ever comes to h2, it's just short of a mate. Only this knight is guarding the h2 square, so preventing us from mating. So if we take here, they're going to take with the other knight and still keep protecting that h2 square. So what do? So our theme is to remove this defender. So there are multiple ways of handling it. The computer suggests some beautiful lines with knight to e5, but I played another move. Okay, so white tries to temporarily block the problematic h file. We just kick the knight with the pawn to g5, they go back, and we are back in the same position, except that we have a pawn on g5. So their option of knight h4 is also closed. Now, yeah, coming to our main point, if we remove this defender, we can checkmate on h2. So how do we do this? So I was talking about a computer line of knight e5, and then the knight can take the knight on f3. If the other knight takes, we just take with the bishop and checkmate white. But I was having another idea in mind, so I went for bishop c5. The idea being, if we first take this knight with the rook, rook takes knight on d2, that is the threat, and if they take with the knight on f3, if this moves, all we want is checkmate, and if they somehow take it with another piece, for example queen takes d2, we just take with the bishop takes f3, and our problem is solved and the checkmate is coming. So white, unaware of this plan, plays pawn to b4, attacking the bishop. We don't care, just take. Rook takes d2, and queen takes d2, and now we remove this defender. The checkmate is now inevitable. So white plays one more move, bishop takes f3, and checkmate. So to recap, we just start with this Englund Gambit, also known as Hartlop Cholik Gambit. We just offer a pawn for some activity in open files and quick development. So both the sides develop, both the sides castle, but on opposite sides, and we have this nice open file for the rook. So they start playing defensively, develop our piece, they develop their piece, trade, good for black, they develop their knight, we advance on the edge file, they white probably want some play on the queen side, we just march on the edge file, so we disrupt their pawn structure. H takes a g6 is really problematic, so we double up on h file, temporarily block it, we kick the knight goes back, and then bishop c5, they attack our bishop, just take defender number 1 and the defender number 2, the most important defender of the h2 square. That's how we remove the defender and checkmate white. Thank you for watching.